safer location in downtown Oakland. We're going to check in with her in just a moment.
But look at these protesters right now, a group of a couple dozen or so lighting another bonfire. Do we know where this is? This is in Franco Gama Plaza right now. Earlier we saw a larger group of people getting together near the plaza. This is another smaller group that's starting a small bonfire, it looks like. Let's get to Kristen Ayers, who's live at Franco Gama Plaza right now.
The protest still going strong tonight. You can actually see hundreds of protesters still jamming Broadway and 14th. They've shut this street down a number of times this evening and made several attempts of walking on the freeway. Some of them successful. This is just one of many protests tonight.
What you gonna do? Into the street! Into the street! Into the street! Into the street!
When the verdict was read, protesters dropped to the ground in downtown Oakland. They called it a die-in. Their bodies sprawled on the street, surrounded by chalk outlines to represent the shooting of Mike Brown. The marching began peacefully enough, though clashes came when protesters attempted to walk onto Interstate 880 and police blocked them. The marching continued, mostly peacefully, although there were flashes of vandalism. A plate glass window shattered at a bank. Spray painters covered their faces and scrawled messages on buildings. A few tried to turn our camera away as we recorded.
Do not touch me!
But the protesters we talked to told us this was not about violence or vandalism. This was about justice.
The total injustice of this country is terrible. There is no justice at the moment in the United States.
Is it enough?
I think everybody needs to come down to 14th and Broadway and stand with Michael Brown against that killer pig who just got off tonight.
It's important to be out here tonight because this isn't just about Mike Brown. This is about everyone who's lost a life to police violence. And so we're going to keep fighting until we see some change.
You can see a lot of anger there at Franco Gama Plaza. Kristen talking to some of the people who have been there tonight protesting and looking down on the situation right now. It looks like a small fire there, probably near the freeway. Betty, you was on the freeway when protesters went up onto Interstate 580 and shut it down. They physically blocked it so no traffic could move around. Betty, I think you're on the phone with us now. Is that right?
Yeah, Ken, I'm on the phone with you. We are outside City Hall right now. We had to move from the 580, but I can tell you things there were really tense. Hundreds of protesters, as you mentioned, physically shutting down the freeway, separated by dozens of officers by only a few feet, many of them shouting justice for Mike Brown. Now, officers throughout the night tried to divert the crowd, tried to corral them. They have since moved through City Hall, and I'm hearing from officers here that they are en route to the Oakland Police Department. They have been marching ever since this grand jury decision came down. Traffic, as you saw, came to a complete standstill tonight. Hundreds of people walked onto the freeway. We did see some officers make a few arrests when people tried to jump over that center divide and shut down the west and eastbound side of 580. Right now we don't have exact numbers of arrests, but we have seen some acts of vandalism out here. No major injuries to report. We have seen a lot of unruly protesters, as well as people that are just frustrated, angry, disappointed, and saddened by this decision. And they say it's opened up a lot of wounds in this community. Ken?
Yeah, and Betty, I don't know if it was your report earlier, but you said that in at least one case that people were throwing objects at some of the police that were there. And in one case, a bottle got thrown at an officer. Anything like that?
Yes, I did see a bottle thrown at an officer on the freeway after an arrest was made. That was a man who tried to climb over the center divide, and as he did so, a lot of people cheered him on, hoping that more people would cross the freeway and shut it down, and they did for a short amount of time.
All right, Betty, live on the phone for us there. Thank you, Betty. Now, she talked to some of the protesters out on the freeway earlier this evening. Here's what they had to say.
No peace!
Is there any other way to get your point across?
No, they won't listen to us. This is out. Who do we have to fight for us? We have to fight for ourselves. They have everyone backing up. They had the whole system backing them. Who do we have to fight for us? We're fighting for ourselves. For no justice.
We know that this has been going on from every case to every case. It's not surprising to all.
What do you think of this shutdown?
Hey, you got to do it. You got to speak up for justice.
Well, here's a few tweets from people in the thick of that protest. Julia Carey Wong shot these two photos of protesters climbing onto the eastbound side of 580. Nate says, quote, smells like another garbage fire still on 580 off-ramp in Oakland. Hashtag Ferguson. This one says, nothing but cheers from people stuck in the traffic jam on 580. Gives me hope on a dark day.